Show money where you're not first, pushing where the crowd is. Betty, put your hands up, we didn't set a line to see us in the papers, we don't look like comments. Hello lovely people, and welcome to today's video. I'm doing another vlog that won't be published for a little while yet because I'm reading for another reading prize, which is super exciting. So yesterday, after a lovely weekend away, I need a little bit of distraction. It was the anniversary of my mum's passing. So I was over at my friend's house with my other half and we had some fun days together, which was lovely. Upon getting home, there was a box at my door and I was like, what the heck? I wasn't expecting anything. It looked book shaped, it felt kind of book shaped. I took it in and here's that unboxing. Oh, exciting stuff. Then you already know who to try. And if you really want it all, meet me on the weekend. Tell me the ending. Push your money where your mouth is, push your money crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we in the sunlight. See us in the papers, we all look so charming. It's a no-brainer, we already running. Make a lot of noise. I had to stop because I realised, oh, hold on, this is what I think it is and I can't share the books and stuff yet. So let me just share it here. Yes, in all its glory. Here are the 3 physical arcs that I've got and a bound proof with no cover. I've never had one of these before. How cool is that? So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about this book prize that I'm reading for this time round. Okay, so I've got the little paper here. This is for la 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 silly edit number 1 because I'm talking about stuff that I'm not supposed to be talking about. Oh my gosh, let's skip to a safe part. So all the books that are included for selection will be published in the UK for the first time in October, November or December 2026. And what I have here to review is a selection of manuscript or proof formats and what I thought it would just be digital formats. So I thought there was going to be digital PDFs. I wasn't actually expecting physical books at my door, which was a really nice surprise. So this season we will receive an approximate of 6 to 8 titles, so far less than the other reading prize I read for recently, which was like, oh, it was so many books, but I still had a great time. So this one I feel like I might be able to take my time with. However, the due by date is an earlier like finish than the other one was, so I think all the reviews have to be in by the 30th of July. So I am looking forward to going through these books with you. So I actually have no idea about any of these because I didn't know any of these were coming out. But the 3 I have here is Liv Little's Bitter Melon. I actually have no idea what this is about. Let me see if it has any information inside. Oh my gosh, it's the author of Rosewater, which I've been wanting to read for the longest time. I didn't recognise the author's name. How exciting. This sounds amazing. So Jaleesa and her dad aren't close at all, but when he invites her to Jamaica, their homeland, for the first time, she jumps at the opportunity. She's running from heartbreak and he is running out of time. This sounds amazing. It's described to be quite tender and heartwarming, and I'm looking forward to potential like different family dynamics, difficult conversations potentially from what I've like read in the blurb. But yeah, this looks amazing. I'm so excited. Then I have a really cool cover actually. This is The Cracks by T.H. Huddleston. So following the death of her husband, Sandra Riley is left all but destitute, jobless, penniless and about to lose her home, but an encounter with an old university friend seems to offer her a lifeline. Jerry McManus was always well-to-do. Now he's risen to join the landed gentry as his wife Joy takes possession of her aristocratic family's remote, dilapidated but undeniably impressive stately home, Hortman Hall. Accepting Jerry's invitation, Sandra arrives at the house, intended to gather her thoughts, face her grief, and plan her next move. But life at Hortman isn't so simple. Why is she having such dreadful dreams? Why do visitors to the house keep suffering inexplicable accidents? What's hidden in the secret room buried deep in the lightless cellar? And who are the distant shadowed figures she keeps glimpsing in the mirrors? Ah, this sounds so good. As the truth about Hauntman Hall begins to reveal itself, Sandra finds herself trapped inside a waking nightmare, and if she is going to survive, she's going to have to put her trust in the most unlikely of places. Oh my god. So it's an uproariously funny and delightfully scary novel about rebellion, class and inequality. The Cracks is also a love letter to the enduring power of punk rock and a raised middle finger to wealth and privilege. This sounds bloody amazing. I really hope I love this. And then the one whose name really, really excited me is a new Tommy Adeyemi book. I did not know one was coming out. I've still yet to read, well, finish the duology of Children of Blood and Bone. Also, I think the movie's in the works, but this says nothing is more intoxicating than power, and this is the Siren. And this is how the cover will look, I believe, and I'm pretty sure that is Tommy Adeyemi on the cover there. Feel like I recognise those eyes. So it's a dark academia young adult novel with a supernatural edge that will leave readers breathless, and it does have a little warning. It does contain mature themes and content, so I feel like it might be the older end of YA, if that makes sense. But I think there's a little bit more of what it says in here. Nothing is more intoxicating than power. When Emery, what gorgeous name, joins Dartmouth College, she's determined it will be the ticket to her future as she leaves the chaos of her past behind. But before long, she meets glamorous, intoxicating Rue and a close-knit band of sirens. Why can't she stay away from them? And what do they want from Emery? As she learns more about these women, it becomes clear that there is a dark power operating at the heart of their circle. And with everything on the line, Emery decides it's a power she must take for herself, no matter the cost. Dive into this addictive and sinister examination of power and survival and the frighteningly thin lines between life and death. This is a brand new novel from global sensation and author of the Legacy of Orisha series, Tommy Adeyemi. The Siren is a dark and propulsive speculative thriller that will leave you breathless. These all sound bloody amazing. So the question is, which one do I dive into first? I started reading Bitter Melon by Liv Little earlier today on my walk to work, and I'm not super far in. I've read from our two main perspectives already, and I want to say I'm on like chapter 3 or something. I don't have a preference yet from who we're reading from, but I am liking both of their voices. Both of them are suddenly going through quite tragic, traumatic things like in their lives, but it's nice to kind of get a sense of how they tackle hardships straight off the bat and kind of the direction of where this story will take them on a personal level in terms of growth, that sort of thing. So yeah, I am very much enjoying it. It's centered around a group of Caribbean men, and I am loving that because at the minute I'm hopeful that nothing awful happens to these characters, because I can see myself really falling in love with them. They're reminding me of my family, and yeah, I'm here for that. So it's just felt so homely for the little bits that I've read so far. Just, you know, their conversation, the friendship, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I'm really liking it so far. It's just a vibe. So really random, but we are in Birmingham because my other half is getting an award. So we've travelled here today, and I thought I'd quickly do a little apartment tour, because why not include that in this little reading vlog? It's an apartment hotel. How cute is that? Hey, this is a really nice room. Oh babe, it looks like we're sleeping separately tonight. Yes. Oh, more towels, perfect. I'ma take my time with it, show you what you got with it. Put some money where your mouth is, put some where the crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we didn't set a line to. It's in the papers, we don't look like common, but it's a no-brainer, we already run it. I'ma take my time with it. Running anymore. Go on, mate. Run up and do your little dance. So beautiful. It's a little friend.
you really want it all, meet me on the weekend. Put your money where your mouth is, put your my crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we in the sun of London. See us in the papers, we all look so charming. It's a no-brainer, we already running. Make a lot of noise, make a lot of noise. The girls make the boys go crazy, and the girls make the boys go crazy.
Just been outside, so I'm mega flushed, but it's so hot today. My in-laws got me, or gave me, their chair because they were changing up their furniture, and I was like, yes please, can I have it for my little library? And oh my god, I was putting it in here like from, wow, I was messing around in this library from 6 p.m. And then I didn't stop till like 1:30, 2 a.m. but only today, because I couldn't figure out how to put the legs on, I finally finished putting the legs on. I'm so hot, so I thought I'd show it in this vlog because it makes sense to me. Here it is. We've got the chair. It is a bit of a behemoth in such a little room, but, well, not even a little room, just a room with a lot of stuff in. But how cute is it? I'm very happy, and I can't wait when it's cooler to enjoy this space some more and sit down and read my books. The bath's running, so ignore any background noise, but I've had a little bit of a move around. So I did have a load of like boxes there and some in this corner too, and 2 out of 5 of them were empty, so I finally put them together over here. I still have to fill that one in with some wool as well, so most of those are like crafty wool stuff, and then some extra memory boxes down there that I'm not going to open up very often. The chair is in, it's over here, it's looking happy. It is a little bit of a dumping ground at the minute whilst I move things around on the floor, but I've just been like hoovering in patches. You can see the hoover lines over here. So yeah, much more floor is exposed. I have gotten rid of a lot of stuff, which is nice because it feels clearer than it has been even before the chair was here, which is crazy because it's such a bulky item that does kind of take up a bit of the room, right? But it looks clearer than it has for a long time. Well, since we moved in, let's be honest. So yeah, super happy. I'm gonna have a bit of a cheeky takeaway tonight, sit in my little chair and do some reading, because I've definitely got to finish off Bitter Melon, because I have been reading that for far too long for a book that is, you know, just under 300 pages, and I've got 2 others to get to. I am waiting for the list to come through with the digital books that I might be reading, but I've yet to receive that, so just going to whittle away at the physical arcs that I've got.
I'ma take my time with it, show you what you got with it. Put your money where your mouth is, put your money crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we didn't set a line to. See us in the papers, we all look so common. But it's a no-brainer, we already running. I'ma take my time with it, show you what you got with it.
So I ended up finishing Bitter Melon by Liv Little, and I'm definitely going to have to go back and read Rosewater, because this was such a beautiful, heartbreaking, harrowing story about a growing bond between a father and daughter who haven't been like super close throughout the years, and them going on a trip to Jamaica that, you know, has very different incentives for both of them. You know, Jalissa, the daughter, is grieving the loss of a miscarriage and the loss of a relationship, and the dad is grieving the loss of a life that he knows it when he's diagnosed with a muscle wasting disease. And it's just so beautiful how they're both having this kind of coming of age journey in their older years, which is something that I've been picking up a lot in books that I've gravitated towards recently and I've really enjoyed, because you never really stop growing and learning and adapting, but they're also tackling very different things. The writing and the storytelling was so mesmerizing that I felt like I had been transported to Jamaica, and it felt so relatable and just beautiful. You know, with some of the connections that I could see mirrored in my own family memories and histories. And I loved it. I also felt like the character growth that we had of both our main characters, so Delroy the dad and Jalissa the daughter, was beautiful in terms of their own separate identities and finding what they were looking for out on this trip, as well as them coming closer together and learning more about each other's lives and, you know, their shared history and their identity in that sense. And it was just breathtaking. Like, there were so many moments where I was like dog-earing. Yeah, sorry, I was dog-earing the pages to come back to later and make a note of. It was just beautiful, really. There were a few scenes where it did feel a little bit disjointed and like a bit sporadic from one scene to the next, but I'm hoping that that's more of like a fault of it being a manuscript proof, and that these sort of things will be tidied up and tightened come publication. But in terms of like character critiques, is that there was a bit of a relationship dynamic with a guy that she meets at the hotel that she stayed at in Jamaica called Malik. And I just think that whole thing could have been handled nicer. Like, they were both seeming like cool people, and I feel like she iced up like she'd been told that she does, unnecessarily. But yeah, that was one of my main gripes, but it perfectly shows like the flawed human sensibilities of the characters, which is also something that I enjoyed. So overall, I feel like I was taken on this powerfully emotional journey, and I absolutely adored it. So I think the next book I'm gonna pick up is Tommy Adeyemi's The Siren, which I really need to finish the Children of Blood and Bone series, and I'm so excited for the movie that's sort of petering on in the works. But this is a dark academia young adult novel with a supernatural edge that will leave readers breathless. So it says here, nothing is more intoxicating than power. I'm pretty sure that I gave you guys the synopsis as I was showcasing these when they came through. I'm gonna dive into this now. I've got a bowl full of watermelon. I'm in the room with the fan, otherwise I would be sitting in my lovely new reading chair, but it's very warm in there. And yeah, I've got some Sprite because I stand by the fact that if you want something fizzy and refreshing that actually quenches your thirst, a Sprite or like a Schweppes lemonade is the thing to go to. But I also have a bottle of water too, so I'm gonna enjoy this time now.
If you know who you are, then you already know who to try. And if you really want it all, meet me on the weekend. Put your money where your mouth is, put your money crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we in the sun and lunges. Yes, in the paper.
Barely got a chance. Look, this little lady's on it. You found a new spot? That's my chair. That's my chair, little lady. You know what? Fair. You look cute. My little sun goddess. Elsa. You're so cute. You're so shiny. Look at you glittering. You had a nice brush yesterday. So look at all that nice smooth fur. Oh, so beautiful. Oh. Whoa, we haven't got any food for you. Oh, look at him. Oh, that's so cute. There's like loads of dragonflies. Wowza. Where have they gone? They don't want to be seen. Whoa. They're big. Wow.
Over the bridge.
Little cherry plums are out. Only ripe at the top though, some of them.
Take my time with it. money where your mouth is. Pushing where the crowd is. Baby, put your hands up. We didn't set a line to see us in the papers. We don't look like common, but it's a no-brainer. We already run it. I'ma take my time with it. Show you what you got with it. Ooh. If you know who you are, then you already know who to try. And if you really want it all, meet me on the weekend. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your my crowd is. Baby, put your hands up. We in the sun of London. See us in the papers. We all look like common. It's a no-brainer. We already run it. Make a lot of noise. Make a lot of noise. The girls make the
But gosh, that bit on the Hello Kitty bath bomb completely stained my hand. I was thinking it was going to be a soap, so I kept it so I could use it rather than just let it melt away. But now I'm having second guesses. Hello. So yesterday I finished The Sirens by Tomi Adeyemi. Definitely behind on my reading, but I'm trying to play catch up a little bit now. Unfortunately, I am left feeling a little bit annoyed about this one. I really wanted to like it and I really thought I would like it. I was so excited when I saw that this was one of my picks. I was super ecstatic and it kind of fell short for me. I think I just spent my whole time not really getting or feeling that the book didn't know what it wanted to be. Like, was we gonna have supernatural elements? Was it going to be at the forefront? Was it mainly going to be about, you know, the pressures of the mind within such a high achieving educational organization, and how much the mind can take before it breaks, you know, going alongside the pressures of sorority life and wanting to be the most powerful through popularity. Like, it never really knew what it wanted to focus on, and for that it was wishy-washy. Our main character was clearly trying to hold back some of the traumatic past that she had, but it kept being alluded to without like pointing out exactly that this was happening until much later. So much so that as a reader I felt like I was being left out, didn't really understand important context for the story, and so because of that in turn I felt disconnected to our main character and to the story. I also felt disconnected because nobody was really likable, and I'm all for an unlikable character or an unlikable main character, but you need to have some qualities that draws me in, whether or not it's me feeling connected, like, oh yeah, she feels like relatable. It doesn't have to be that. I just need something that draws me in and keeps me invested in the character's growth or storyline, or just to see what messed up stuff they do next. And although I had that quite dully in the background, I ultimately didn't care, and I'm left very confused, especially by the end, which took a weirder direction. I feel like it should have been, like, that element of the story should have been more heavily integrated throughout the story so that it didn't feel like blindsided and random, you know. It just, if that was more of the story from the beginning, the ending portion, I probably would have been more on board, because it would have made sense with the atmosphere and the tension and the kind of, ooh, okay, the mystique of it. But I did feel like the confusion that I had and the disconnect was almost disguised as the mystique of the characters. So the Sirens, who are the sorority group, more like a cult to be honest, they are definitely alluring and captivating and intriguing, but for what purpose? At the end of the day I just kept scoffing in disbelief that, you know, these hazing activities and things. I'm like, but what are you doing that for? Like, it's just a group of girls at a university. Like, it pulled me out. But I think if there had been more obvious magical elements within it, I would have been like, oh, okay, I understand that now. But it didn't feel that way. And then, as I said near the end, it just kind of randomly added things that didn't really make much sense. Yeah, I realized as I was writing my review for this, I was getting more and more annoyed. I was like, no, like, why am I feeling this? I'm so irritated. There were parts that I liked, so I gave it a 3 stars. But I wouldn't be recommending it, and I wouldn't really know who to recommend it to, because I don't know at the end of the day what this book wanted to do. There were some interesting themes on like mental health and almost like coming into yourself when you know you're a bad person, but it all felt very surface level, despite I could feel that Tomi Adeyemi was trying to avoid that. Like there was time for depth, and I felt like she was trying to explore that, but it just never landed the way that I think would have been effective. You know, it wasn't satisfactory in that way, and yeah, I am a bit disappointed actually. The cliffhanger at the end was irritating. I'm annoyed, like, okay, like now I feel like I have to read it, but I don't really want to necessarily. I do have a few quotes here, like there are some beautiful quotes. There are some so there's like speckled in before each chapter bits of Emery's poetry, but because of the way she's talking about being in this psych ward, I'm thinking, oh my god, is this like an alter ego? We're seeing like snippets of her other persona or something. No, it's just a bit of poetry. I was confused, but some of the poems are really beautiful. The smiley faces at the end, I didn't get. Like there was just a poem and then a bit of a smiley face, and I was like, okay, maybe that's her thing. Some of these invite pages are really pretty to look at, but it just never really, what is Elsa doing? It just never really went where it could have gone effectively, and I'm left irritated. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna get really annoyed. I'm disappointed, I'm upset, and I'm frustrated a little bit, honestly, and I feel bad because that's where I'm gonna end this vlog. I've still got like 6 other books to read. I have since started another one, but this video is already super long, so it will at least be a 2-parter. So sorry it was a little bit of a downer to end this portion of the vlog, but thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you in the next one.
Boys go crazy, and the girls make the boys go crazy.